Hello, welcome back to Skill Building 201. I'm Diane. This is my YouTube channel, and this is the third workshop that I'm giving, and this is Dealing with Difficult People Part 5. Thank you for coming. We are now finishing up our skills for dealing with difficult people, and we're to open it up skills. Open it up skills. And the first part that we're looking at is talk it out. You can tell from my chart that this one is important. It's the mother of all skills for dealing with difficult people, and especially ones that you care about. These are people you would open it up for, people that you care about, they're in your inner circle, or that you need to care about, like your boss and your coworkers. There will be times when you need to stop and attend to this person who may be seeming to be difficult at the moment because they're criticizing you or finding fault or whatever. There's an issue that's come up. Your spouse, your boss, your best friend, your child. Please listen to your children, including teenagers. Hard as it is, I know. Your inner circle people, your coworkers, your social group members, your important clients, your customers, your cooperating agencies. You can't just blow these people off. If they have an issue, you need to stop and you need to talk it out. And there are so few on here because I put everything pretty much there. When you are confronted with the issue that the person seeming to be difficult at the moment, when you're faced with the issue, if possible, find a quiet, private place and time to talk it out. You might need to, if you can at the moment, great. Can you come to my desk, or can we go into the coffee room and talk this out? Or you make a time and a place to do it. Let them vent. Let them tell what's bothering them. Again, customer service people deal with this all the time. If you let somebody vent, and by the end of it, they are feeling much calmer and much more heard and validated, and they appreciate you. You know, at least they should. And you can point out the fact that they should appreciate you. And sometimes you make a good friend by doing this. Active listen. This whole talk it out, this is active listening. We're just reviewing it from the first workshop. And if you want to know more about it, go to the first workshop and find out about active listening. Be honest and be direct. State the problem when that person's finally wound down and you respond and you've talked a bit of time. State the problem and keep stating it and working on it until it's a positive, and then work on it until you both agree that that's the problem. Work toward a middle ground. Sympathize and empathize with that other person. Ask questions to clarify. Attend to what is the real problem going on here. If something minor seems to be getting way more attention than it should, ask, let's search for the real problem here. Ask, what would you like for me to do for you or to address the problem, and respond to it. Stay focused on the issue at hand. So easy to get off into tangential things and, well, you did this and so forth. No, stick to the issue. Don't get distracted. Stay in your head. Don't get in your emotions. Think, how this is interesting. If you could probably face any criticism or objection or whatever if you say to yourself, this is interesting, let's see how this is going to play out, like Edward de Bono. Yeah, so this is something that you need to do in times when somebody presents you with an issue and they're important to you. Okay. The next one is side with the person against the problem. When I was giving this workshop to the Chamber of Commerce, one of the women who was there sold insurance, homeowners, various insurances, I think. But she would have people with homeowners. She offered this suggestion. If somebody came in and said, this damage has happened to my house, is it covered? And she will know that it's not covered, but she'll say, okay, I hope so. Let's look it up in the rules. And she goes to the rules and they look and they find it and they find it's not covered. And she says, darn it, that's where they have us. That is such a gift to be able to do that. So you're not the one proving them wrong. You're with them and you are looking it up together to find the way. Another thing was your teenage kid comes to you and says, I want to get a car. I mow lawns now. I can afford a car. And so you say, well, let's examine it. Why don't you make a list of all the costs that you're going to have? If you get a car, you'll have to buy it, but then you have to insure it, and you have to maintain it, and you have to feed it gas. So make a list, prove to me that you have enough money to get the car. So you're not saying no, you're letting them discover for themselves that it's going to be way over their head. If two people at work don't get along, a really good way is to bring them in a room facing a blackboard or a flip chart or something, and sit them down side by side looking at it, and then you're going to state the problem. Let's say the problem is for one person, I don't like working with Mary. I don't get along with Mary. Okay, let's state the problem. Working relations are not good when Susie works with Mary. And then let's work on that a little bit more. And don't you wish that you got along with each other? Yes, we wish it. Okay, Susie and Mary want to find a good working relationship. That's possible. That's positive. And that is, I don't like Mary. If you try to brainstorm around that, you get a whole lot of different answers than, I want to have a good working relationship with Mary. So, and that's so you get the problem to where it's a positive, and then you generate suggestions from all the people involved. It's Susie and it's Mary, but it's also maybe the boss or the HR person or the whomever. So sit them down, they're on the team together, these two people, looking at the positively framed issue and working together on it. Be so nice and pleasant through the whole thing that the other people are going to want to be as nice as you. And praise them and use flattery. Let's say that you have somebody at work who is always a wet blanket and always criticizing and always negative and in a bad mood. First of all, have compassion for that person. They probably lead a pretty miserable life. But what you could do to thaw them sometimes is find something they're really good at and make them an expert. This all needs to be sincere. So, and if they come in one day in a nice outfit, say, what a pretty outfit. My, you look nice today. Use flattery and try to give them a niche in the workplace where they can shine. I think I've always thought that if you are raising adolescents, the best way to help a kid through adolescence is to find a hobby they're passionate about and that they're good at, and let them spend their precious adolescent years doing that. One of a couple that we know, their daughter was really into horses, and they were able to afford horses, and she spent her adolescence taking care of and riding those horses. My son, it was drama, and that really helped him through adolescence. Was he sang and he acted, and that was great. Give people what they psychologically need, and catch them being good, like I've talked about before. Have them be the person that you go to for information on something, and then go to them. Find ways to go to them for that information. Okay, folks, that's the end of this workshop. If we could do this as a group like I've done before, we could generate even more answers, because the group has answers. The wisdom is within the group. It really is. I find that over and over. And so I'm sorry that we can't, and feel free to email me some of your suggestions, and I would love to get that at skillbuilding201@gmail.com. I hope you find one or two or three ideas in here for situations in your life, and if you do, try practicing them. Practice it in front of a mirror. Get your throat and your tongue and your mouth and your brain used to hearing you say it, so it just comes out, and that makes it much easier to do. Think of it all as an interesting experiment. If you're dealing with somebody who, say, is hostile at work or whatever, think of it as an interesting experiment to see what you can do with it, how you can rise above it. Visualize yourself using these skills. Sports people use visualization all the time, and they say it's almost as good as actually doing it to increase your ability to do it. And good luck. I have finished my original goal, and that was these 3 workshops, which are very important to me. I waved the flag for them, and I think that they can help. I finished, and I'm going to take the summer off. I'm going to be a docent in a museum, and I'm going to go to summer concerts in the park, and I'm going to have a good time. I may be back in the fall, and at that point, I may be dealing with anger. So, thank you so much for coming, and have a good summer.